Hello, and welcome back to Genshin Impact, version 2.5. It's gonna be 2.6 real soon. Alright. I thought I'd actually do the commissions first, but, you know what? Guess I will. I don't think there's anything else going on. Hakunin Iki. I just can't be bothered doing the getting gold. It's too hard, it's too hard. Inazuma. Oh, god dang it. Well, maybe I'm better off getting these. Yeah. Spend my resin first.
天気がよく 命ずる 仕事がまだ終わってません。休んでいいのでしょうか。
Yeah, it's finally moving.
魂よ
It's time for a Chi-Chi. Yeah. They're just showing off their fucking gun using the fucking A's. God dang it. God dang it. Eh? Bastards.
よ
Time to eat.
ついていきますご助力をこの仕事は排除するべきですね逃げ道はあります見切りましたご安心をやあれくらいなさいやはっやよ
God dang, Chi-Chi hitting 35k. And we're out of here. Dang it. Well, they only do one. What's the point of doing just one?
県民全票
Okay. Waste of time. Waste of time. Match. I'm gonna be hosting, aren't I? Yep. Yippers peppers.
弾けだボンボン爆弾。入れよ。
And then I take a look and see if the buff's on him. Okay, there. That means he's loaded in. Alright, let's go. It's a good way to tell. Good way to tell. And then let's be... Albedo. Alright. Time to eat. You must not forget your time to eat.
水中弦が
Ooh.
風の神よ、我らを導きたまえ。
創世の術名誉
ここにいるよ。運命には逆らいません。
せっと
I haven't used my own ability.
逃げ誰だか
Very nice. And then we continue the domain. Continue it. Continue. Nice.
酒
風よ、私に応えるのだ。いざ勝負。
異形を見届ける
これが運命です。三王帝君のために。
疑似用名誉牽制
Nice. Think of it as free condensed resin. Yay! 3, 2, 1.
したか。今こそ誕生の時。
勝負は
創世の術。
運命に逆らえません。運命が水面に映るのです。瑠璃のように落ちなさい。
What happened to Jean?
描きがたし。めんどくさいな。
No, that looks like Crier. So I might just replace Jean with Diona.
やっぱり私がいなきゃダメだね。
I mean, what exactly is the shield? Because if it's what I think it is, then I don't really need to use Albedo, really. Yep. Oh, she is this guy's weakness. I'll still keep Albedo around, of course. Now heal us all.
色なら特製ドリンク
Change back to Jean.
いつでも出発できる。
That was good, Diana. Very good. Which one shall be next? Gotta kill a boss. Pyro? I don't know. From this team, I think I want Albedo. That's why. Last time. Can't believe I don't have a good defense thing of this. I'm gonna take a look. Song of Life, defense. Well, you don't actually have enough defense stuff. Defense, all you've been getting, well, you're not getting enough apparently. Though, what would you want from him? Probably defense, elemental mastery, energy recharge, probably not really. Crit damage, crit rate, so the thing can just blow up every time. Deal a massive damage. So that's the crit damage, has a elemental mastery, has a bit of defense, has some HP. This one's an all-rounder, okay. Elemental mastery, attack. Attack does shit for all for him. Crit rate, that's good. Defense. Flat defense, I'm not sure about it. Not sure about it. This one has high defense, but not high enough because I remember there was one that's really high. Yeah, 16%. On a main attack weapon. I mean, relic. Try and beat that. Oh, and it's covered in good stuff as well, like attack and crit damage, crit rate. It's kind of funny, no? Kind of funny. Looking for defense, but you don't really find it. But when you want to look for attack, you find defense. I don't know if I should upgrade him. Maybe I should go after Ningguang. She's there. I have this one eye. Pretty good. The event. There's these, which I need to upgrade. I'm going with Archaic Petra. Doesn't make her that much stronger. The 4-piece set. 2-piece is alright. Well, the 4-piece doesn't do her shit. It helps with the, I guess, Yan Fei on her party. Yeah. But yeah, it could be better. Or should I just get Chi-Chi up? You want to be level 90 Chi-Chi? Or should I even care about level 90? I mean, I should care about level 90 for Wu Tao. They're a lot stronger.
ビョンビョンビョンビョン。さよなら。
should I start, you know, bring up these characters? Make them level 80. Okay, so I need a lot of materials. No, I guess I should just go for whatever I feel like, I guess. Let's go get some healing first. Now let's, should I do this one? Yes, my team is well suited to do that one. Can't do these because I don't have enough res. Wait, I do. And I need to spend some too. Yeah. 2 days. I don't know which one it's using. Okay, I used the closest one. Okay, now I have 100. Means I can do one of these. This guy? Oh, Storm Terror, right? Yeah. Let's go fuck up old Stormy. Yeah, let's do it with this team. Confront Storm Terror. Start. Start.
疑似用か
Come on, land. Good, ready to land. The prime. So I'm here now, a little bit. Look at me.
創世の術
雨描きがたし
疑似用か今こそ誕生の時
この剣はわかるかい
せや
Alright, let's jump on again. Wait, get back down.
風の神、我らを導きたまえ。雨描きがたし。
Nice. And use original resin. Very good. I got stuff. Got two of those. Very good. I was running out of those. Don't remember who I was doing, but whatever. Now I have some more. Not the sad music again. Not the sad music again. Now I'm suited to do the electro prior. So let's just do electro because I haven't really done it in a long time. I've been doing cryo for a long time. Wake up! Oh, sitting just outside the fucking thing. God. Thank God, I had to use my fucking burst to get that done. Ah, not good, not good. But at least I got one of these. Nice. Owned 3. 3? I don't know if it counts before or after. Like, I just got 3. Did I already had 3? Or are those the only 3 I have? I don't know. I do not answer. Overflow mastery done. Yes. Is there anything you can do here? No, it just goes here. Useless. Anyway, gotta go to my Serenity pot, and yes, we can talk a bit. Well, not talk a bit, but you know, read some stories, read some books. It's story time again. I'm gonna have to change the title.
この同点
Nice. Create furnishing. Do not know what I'm missing. So
同点につい
be right back. That's right, we have Xingqiu in the party. Yes. Let's see, I think it was this one. Few details. I require Archivist Treasure Trove and Study Library Table. Give me a Study Library Table. Yes. And now Archivist Treasure Trove. Nice. Okay, now I can just make some bits and bobs of whatever. I don't know what to get. Wait, those those seats in the Inazuma. Those little circle mats. Must be around here somewhere. There it is. Tea house cushion. Night woven. Easy. I think I need more of those as well.
同点につい
But all in all, pretty dang good. Alright. It's story time. Gather round, doglets. It's time for a story. With Xingqiu. What's my nose? And a pre-installation, I guess. Mail. Satisfaction survey. That will have to be later. Thank you very much. Archive. We're on to some books. Alright. The Mondstadt Tower. Ah, yes, I've seen it. I mean, read it. Yes, read it. Alright, let's read a diary. Oh my god, that's long. Of Roald the Traveler. Actually, it's not even finished, so. Should I? I mean, this will indicate that it's finished, right? Let me just go to the end of it. Volume 5. Yeah, I'm missing volume 5. Volume 8. I'll finish it once I, have it pieces. Someone's diary. It's not even finished. Damn it. It's missing 4. Volume 4. Does it tell you where, or hint at you where? A diary left behind someone in the wilderness tells owners adventurers at June cast. I'm gonna have to look for these. Records of June. I suppose it's time to read this. Okay. Expand. Volume 1. A collection of folk stories, myths, and legends from the year. It's quite a page turner. This segment is on the legends of stone beasts. Stone beasts Stone statues appear all across the vast land of Liyue. It's true, I've seen those. Most were built by locals who prayed to them for favorable weather and peace steadfast as the mountains. But it is claimed that some have a much more ancient history. One story regarding the animal statues in particular is popular among the fishermen of the Bishui River, the silvergrass harvesters of Dihua Marsh, and the old mining crowd. They say that in some corners of the land, ancient stone beasts wake at night in the cool of the fall and look around at a world that has slowly become alien to them. Hearing the sounds of frogs and insects greeting them, they respond with deep, soulful cries from their petrified throats. Then they roam around Liyue, inspecting once more the land they used to protect. Oh, that's kinda creepy, actually. To my knowledge, no one has ever witnessed a stone beast in motion firsthand. However, local residents who know the territory extremely well have long observed and accepted the phenomenon that the animal statues can change location and posture overnight. Meanwhile, light sleeping campers often report hearing a sound in the middle of the night that is like flowing water, only much deeper in tone. As for where these stone beasts originally came from, the elders of Qingce village say that they are illuminated beasts who once fought alongside Rex Lapis in the Archon War. After the war ended, the tide subsided and peace was restored. The illuminated beasts were no longer required to serve as defenders of the common people, and one by one they retreated to more secluded parts of the country. There they lived free from concern for mortal affairs. But some illuminated beasts remembered with fondness the glorious days when they served under Rex Lapis, and they pined for the years they protected Liyue. Though they were not of the mortal realm, nor were they immortal, for them, too, life would one day come to an end. Thus they beseeched Rex Lapis to turn their ephemeral flesh bodies into everlasting stone. The merciful Geo Archon granted their request and made them as such. They want to be turned to stone? Dang! Zhongli being Medusa. Dang. Volume 2. A collection of folk stories, myths and legends from Liyue. Square page turn. This segment is on ancient fictional stories. Alright. Palace beneath the sea. The day had arrived. It was time to collect the bride. The sea god looked majestic indeed as he sat center stage in his giant clam, holding in his hands the reins of 2 sea serpents. They stood as imposing as Mount Tianheng before the royal carriage as their master of 2 sea serpents. As their master accepted the gifts of pearls from the village elders and welcomed his new bride aboard the carriage. In return, the village would receive the sea god's blessing, a year free from tempests and tsunamis. The bride was whisked away to a place deep beneath the waves, far from home, far from the reveling crowd celebrating the festival, and far from her mother all alone. The sea god took her along a corridor of great columns, formed from the skeleton of a dead whale, that led to a palatial gate adorned with shining pearls and iridescent shells. Finally, the young bride had arrived at the palace the sea god had made for her, the palace that was to be her new home. It was not my plan to meddle in the affairs of common people, came the god's voice rippling through the water. It was a husband's attempt to console his bride. This place has served as a new home for many other young women, and it also became the place they spent their final days. Many of them were driven away from the village where they were born. For them, the ocean has provided safe refuge, somewhere they could sleep peacefully without fear of being disturbed, somewhere they could call home. But this young woman did not want a new home decorated with prize pearls and rare shells. The dazzling spectacle of the ocean floor and the creatures that she knew lurked in the darkness filled her not with peace, but with dread. Time went by, and the longer she stayed in her bewildering ocean chamber, that she knew not sunrise nor sunset, the more homesick she grew, and the frailer she became. Eventually there came a day when the sea god sensed that his young bride was feeling. What his young bride was feeling. Though he was saddened by her choice, he allowed her to go through with her decision. In the fallen world of the humans, there will come a day in your life when you regret this decision. The sea god took the shell of a sea snail that adorned his waist and handed it to her as a parting gift. There will come a day that you blow into this shell and it will sound like a horn. On that day, you shall return to this place. The young woman took the shell and returned to the land. The years went by, and soon she became a mother herself. As she went about her simple, peaceful life, the ocean palace seemed but a childhood dream. The dazzling sights and the grotesque creatures would once in a while flood into her mind from the murky depths of her memory. But it was a rare occurrence, and she put them out of her mind. She lived like this year after year, until one year, when the festival came once again, the village elders came to her home. They had come to take her daughter from her arms. It was then that she finally understood why the sea god had spoken of her regret, and of her return, all those years ago. On the eve of the festival, she blew into the shell, and it sounded like a horn. The sea god responded to the call, rising up from the billowing waves to greet the village. But his embrace was a tidal wave that engulfed the village and took the villagers and elders in their sleep. Drawn by giant sea serpents, a colossal clam carriage came to a halt in front of her, dazzling her with its shimmering pearls. The mother took her daughter by the hand and boarded the sea god's clam. It was just like she remembered from her childhood, only this time, the village she left behind now lay in ruins beneath the ocean waves. Well, shit. Should have just stayed there. Okay, volume 3. This segment is on the origin of Wu Wang Hill. Oh, Wu Wang Hill. Nice. Wu Wang. Hiding between the ragged peaks in the north of Mount Qingce is a slope known as Wu Wang Hill, a palpably ominous place, and the setting of many tales of supernatural phenomena. It is rumored in Lear that the spirits of the dead lurk within the woods on Wu Wang Hill. They roam the perimeter of the decrepit village, wandering among the withered trees and rotting foliage, eternally yearning for things left unresolved in living years. These floating spirits often entice unsuspecting passers-by away from the main path and onto treacherous mountain tracks that lead them tumbling into a river or straight into an ambush of ravenous monsters. It is this phenomenon from which Wu Wang Hill derives its name. Wu Wang means prudence in the common tongue, and Wu Wang Hill is said to be the hill where the prudent are punished. For even those travelers who do not act rashly or impulsively on their journey are doomed to be ensnared by the malevolence that lingers here like the mists in the mountain air. Both innocent villagers and ignorant visitors alike are susceptible to the deception of the Wu Wang Hill spirits, which draw them deep into dark woods where thick mists blots out the sky and unknown dangers lurk in the shadows. There are many means by which these sinister spirits are able to deceive mortals. Some take the form of bereavement or grief, others of regret, manifesting as voices and visages of the deceased, the love of the departed, or the remorse of another party in an unresolved dispute. The traveler finds themselves compelled to heed the spirit's cry, and follows them into the depths of Wuwang. But Wuwang Hill was not always this way. Some signs of life remained there up until relatively recently, and in times gone by, the village at the foot of the slope enjoyed a peaceful and leisurely existence. The chimneys always smoking and the lanterns always lit. That same village stands abandoned today. The buildings are in ruins, and all that remains of the villagers is the indistinct murmuring from a realm beyond. There is a fable that is oft repeating among the children of Jingce village. It holds that the young people of Wurang Hill, enchanted by the whale-like song of a faraway sea monster, all threw themselves into the gently flowing Bishui River in pursuit of false promises and childlike dreams. Along the river they floated, making their way to the sea of clouds, when they became one with the waves and lost all memory of the woods and the village on the hill. Their dreams, meanwhile, became the sea monster's song. Generation after generation of young people disappeared in this way, until in the end the sole remaining residents of Wuwang Hill were old and grey. One by one they left this mortal plane amidst sighs of grief. The bright light of Liyue Harbor, Rex Lapis's pride and joy, burned ever brighter, while another neglected mountain village turned into a silent ghost town. But unlike the fleeting and fickle human mind, the ever-flowing ley lines remember all. Surging elemental energy takes on spirit form to recreate all the dreams, both fair and foul, of Wuwang Hill's erstwhile residents. Much like a mother who once lost a child and now searches desperately through their irretrievable past for a way to bring everything back, the ley lines, albeit unconsciously, repeatedly recreate the past and those who inhabited it, the way each looked, the way each child cried, the way the elderly would sigh in their twilight years, each moment of joy and each moment of sorrow. And like the hypnotic song of the great creatures of the deep sea, it unintentionally lures toward it any nostalgic soul who would dare trespass here. Yeah, it's basically Hu Tao every day. It's Hu Tao every day. Stories of Seelie living in the mountains. Oh, Seelie. Nice. Okay. Mountain spirits. Many lone Seelie are found floating in the mountain forests of Liyue. These glowing spirits are unfailing found hovering in the mountain mist, in the ruins of ancient cities, or in crumbling, decrepit villages. Should a vision bearer draw near, the Seelie will guide the way for them, leading them to a long hidden treasure or unfathomably ingenious mechanisms. The people of Liyue believe these tiny silent spirits to be auspicious sightings, the souls either of departed adepti or unnamed benevolent gods of old. Others believe they are the echoes of strangers without kin, lingering in the mountains to guide lonely lost visitors onto the path back home. Another old legend told in the mountain villages claims that there was once a time before the adepti had come into being, when the Seelie who meander in the mountains knew an altogether different existence, one in which they had beautiful physical forms and possessed great wisdom. That era, when the Seelie roamed the mountains and strolled through the grand halls in the cities of old, is said to date back even further than the days when Rex Lapis fought bitterly against countless rival gods. At a far-flung moment in the distant past, the ancestor of the Seelie met a traveler from afar, with whom they swore an oath of union witnessed by the three sisters of the Lunar Palace. Just 30 days later, a sudden disaster struck. The Seelie and their lover fled into exile as the world collapsed around them, fleeing until the terrible calamity caught up with and seized them. Their cruel punishment was to be separated from each other for eternity, and to have their memories wiped without a trace. The graceful but heartbroken Seelie and the sisters grew more sullen and withdrawn with each passing day, to the point where their wondrous forms withered away, leaving fragments of their former selves scattered in the mountains and ruins, where they turned into tiny little life forms. They had forgotten so much, lost so much, and been stripped of their voices and wisdom. Yet they continued to sing their same songs of grief. Because of this, still harboring a shred of the deep love they once had for their long-lost lover, they will act as guides to travelers to stop in the mountain mist, seeking to retrace their memories of an ancient story in long-abandoned ruins, disused makeup cabinets, and now undecipherable poetry. Of course, these are nothing but clumsy, incoherent folktales, wild and fantastical conjecture about what Liyue may have been like in the distant past before the time of Rex Lapis. Needless to say, such tales have no credibility whatsoever. The true origin of these sorrowful spirits that meander in the mountains is, however, still widely debated, and no consensus has ever been reached on the topic. Well, they seem to have gone in detail on the last bit. Quite a bit of detail. Ah, my throat. I need to drink something. Okay, that might have helped a little bit. Actually, I don't think it's very well. I want to read at least 2 books. Volume 5, Qilin. Segment is on the shared history of Qilins and humans. Qilin. Among the legends that circulate in the mountains of Liyue, the Qilin are a type of noble and benevolent illuminated beast. Qilin often roam the mountain forests, but appear only on nights where starlight shines upon clear dew. For sustenance, they drink only spring water and eat only fragrant herbs. Ah, not you. Qilin are gentle, illuminated beasts with grace and elegance flowing through their veins. It is said that Qilin will never harm living things, refusing even to step on an insect or break a blade of grass. People believe that a Qilin's characteristics, behavior, and their every movement is dictated by an age-old etiquette that has remained unchanged for 1,000 years. Following the barbarous age of the Archon War, many Adepti became unable to continue living among the clamorous world of mortals. As a result, and under the direction of Rex Lapis, they withdrew themselves from society to live in seclusion in the bamboo groves and mountains. No longer would they interfere in the human world, content instead to enjoy a realm of mountains and water, and pursue their own interests. Yet some illuminated beasts there were that over 1,000 years of mortal cooperation had cultivated deep friendship with ordinary humans. They decided to carry out the will of the Lord of Geo in the mortal realm, assisting human society with their adeptal powers and charity. Some hid in mountain hamlets, while others walked in the bustling city streets. They lived together and mixed with humankind, leaving behind unique bloodlines in Liyue Harbor. According to one folktale, as early as several thousand years ago, there were already those among the elegant Qilin who had begun to grow deeply attached to the savage mortals. The tale tells of how in the barbaric era, the people who wore clothes of water lotus and bay leaf. One night, a herb gatherer was bathing in a mountain pool, when to his surprise, a passing Qilin began to eat the clothes that he had left by the water's edge. The illuminated beast was too young to understand human notions of shame and privacy had yet to learn the conduct of illuminated beasts in the mortal realm. To make up for her crude behavior and to avoid startling the vulnerable mortal with her otherworldly adeptal appearance, she transformed into one of human bearing. As the pale light of the full moon fell onto the pool, she appeared before the herb gatherer. The young illuminated beast ultimately did not understand human notions of shame and privacy. She stood in that mountain forest, lit by cold moonlight and the glow of fireflies, clothed only in dewdrops and the lunar gleam. Together with the ignorant mortal she traveled, strolling happily among flowers and bamboo groves, revealing to him the mountain dwelling of the Adepti, interpreting for him the language of the birds, sleeping lightly amid the cry of insects, sinking softly into shared and ancient dreams. As the herb gatherer began to stir at the first light of dawn, he awoke to find that the noble illuminated beast had vanished without a trace. As for how this tale unfolds, opinions vary widely. Some people say that one night the Chilean placed a bamboo basket outside the front door of the herb gatherer's home before disappearing into the moonlit mist. When the herb gatherer came to the door, he found a child soundly asleep inside the basket. Others say that from the moment on, the Chilean lived together with the mortal, gave birth to children, and grew accustomed to human life. No matter the truth of the thousand-year-old matter, the elegant illuminated beasts continued to walk among the residents of Lear, unseen among the sea of people, waiting for the day when Rex Lapis calls them forth once again. Ah, very nice. It's all about Ganyu. This segment is on the Dunyu realms. Ganyu and Yanfei, I guess. She's also an illuminated beast. Well, half. Hidden Jade. In the valley northwest of Liu Harbor and south of Nantianmen lie many silent ancient ruins. One of these areas is known as the Dunyu Ruins. This area is said to have already existed even before the time of the Archon Wars. According to old legends passed by word of mouth, Dunyu means the land to which beauteous jade flees. In a past beyond memory, when even Rex Lapis would still have been young, a star fell from the sky into the barren plains west of Lear. These plains were transformed into a huge and deep chasm. Chasm? What? A star fell while Rex Lapis was young. Of the star's descent, and jade would emerge from within, beautiful and limitless, and it would become the foundation for 1,000 years of industrial mining in Liu thereafter. Legend has it that when that nameless star fell, a fragment of it broke off and crashed into the rocks in northern Lisha. As most know, wordless stones harbored soul and spirit, and in manners and times not witnessed by mortal eyes, they watched and listened to the ley line's pulses, the echoes of the alpine springs, and the slow but inexorable movements of the mountains. Unlike the ordinary but enduring stone of the earth, the fragments of the meteorite that fell from heaven had a proud and agitated temper. Later, when countless gods and rulers fought over their appointed celestial seats, and the very stars and abyss themselves faded, tragedy and evil embarred the breath of the waters and mountains. The fallen star could bear this no longer, and heedless of the great chasm's persuasions to stay, it leaped away towards the heavens. As it returned to the skies, the heavenly jade left behind a deep pit, within which humans would build great cities and mighty fortresses, finding refuge and shutting themselves in with the leftover inheritance of that fallen star. Over the tumult and storms of the next few thousand years, the redoubts of the Dunyu Valley stood tall and maintained prosperous relations with Liu Harbor up till 500 years ago. Now, of course, it's 500 years ago. But with the coming of the Black Calamity and the rise of the Abyss, the residents of Dunyu sealed the ancient city and departed for other lands. None know why these refugees chose to shut the gates of their home, and even the millennia-old Adepta and Yaksha are silent on this matter. And so the sealed fortresses became giant, silent tombs with naught left in them but the sound of pond water and the wind whistling through empty halls. And thusly too did they come to be called the Dunyu Ruins by the people of Leah. Oh shit. A star fell into the chasm, which made the chasm, and then it leapt away and went back to the heaven. Legend has it that a nameless star fell, a fragment of it broke off and crashed into rocks in northern Lisha. Give me a second. Where's Lisha? Northern Lisha. Dunyu Ruins. So there's the chasm. So it came from this way and a fragment of it broke off and landed in northern Lisha. Is that what's now known as Dunyu Cavern? Dunyu Ruins? Yeah. Crashed into rocks in northern Lisha. Let's see if there's anything there. Obviously, it doesn't mean that because that's the dragon spine. Well, I definitely don't see it here. And over there is the chasm. Where's Nantianmen? I think I might be here. It should be Nantianmen. Challenge here, just for me. All right.
さっきの
いざ勝負。それ。実に幸運な一日だ。
There's definitely a rule in here. See this guy? So yeah, it might be buried in the ground and you have no idea. I mean, this part seems to have something here, but I don't really see anything here. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. To my pot. Go back. Let's continue. Heart of Clear Springs, huh? But yeah, records of Durian, very interesting. Let's do... I did say I want to do Byakuya Koku, but it's so fucking long. Princess Mina of the Fallen Nation. Maybe. But yeah, let's just go down. Heart of Clear Springs. Only one. A legendary tale passed down by Springvale hunters that portrays an encounter between an unknown young boy and a spring fairy. Is it me? Under the cascading moonlight, a tearful boy made his wish at the spring. The fairy from afar, who had taken up residence in the unoccupied spring, listened in silence to his wordless wish. Spring fairies know nothing of distant memories or deep dreams. They are born of water's essence, faceless descendants of the angels. Thus, when the curious fairy emerged from the water and heard the cry of that boy's heart, she became interested in this life, younger and more fragile than her own. The silent fairy reached out her formless fingers, cold as the midnight dew and soft as fortune foregone, and gently caressed the boy's forehead and cheeks. Startled by this stranger's touch, the young boy lifted his head and met the fairy's gaze. "Can you make my wish come true?" the boy asked. The fairy of the spring was surprised and confused by this presumptuous question, but she could not speak, and so simply nodded her head. Satisfied, the boy left. He did not know that the spring fairy was alone, without friends or family, and that she had lost a great deal of her wisdom. Only when the spring water flowed from cracks in the stone into her pool, and when she gazed upon the fractured image of the moon in the rippling water, did she slowly regain the ability to think, and to mimic fragments of speech. Like a curious child, the fairy observed the world around her in innocence, wonder, and love. She rejoiced with the fox and squirrel who stole berries and grieved at the dark clouds that covered the horizon. And for that young boy, a feeling complex yet immature welled forth from within her heart. All alone in this world, she had neither the power nor wisdom with which to grant his wish, but she could share it, and she drew life from sharing his burdens. Nice. Yep, still the same thing. As he gazed at the fractured image of the moon, carried by the water's ripples, the boy poured his heart out to the spring. From within his words, she learned much of him, and from her silence, he strengthened his belief in himself. Dimly, the spring fairy understood that there was good in the world beyond moonlight and fruits, and more to darkness than mere clouds. The boy spoke to her of forests and trees, cities and walls, and shared with her his joys, his sorrows, and his fears. As she listened to him, she became enamored of this imperfect world into which she had been born. When the boy grew frustrated at his powerlessness, the spring fairy would gently and quietly wipe away his tears. From them, she grew to understand? You may understand the world outside the spring a little more. Those tears flowed into the water, and the fairy purified them, turning them into a sweet nectar that brought him sweet dreams. The boy forgot the pain of his waking hours, and met the silent fairy by her spring in his sleep. Every time that happened, the fairy too would smile, asleep in the pool drenched in moonlight. The fresh dew nourished the boy's dreams, and the boy's dreams rejuvenated the lonely fairy's soul. In those dreams, the spring fairy told the boy the tales of the faraway realm of Hydro. She spoke of her sapphire blue homeland. She sang of the homesickness of exile, and she sighed for separation and belonging. In these dreams, the boy became the one who silently listened, who wept for her troubles, and who rejoiced in her happiness. Over time, the spring fairy gained the power of speech from the boy's memories and dreams. Over time, they became friends who shared all. Even the birds. Yep, same thing. When the wind ceased to blow, the moon's fractured reflection on the pool was made whole, and the boy heard the fairy's voice for the first time. Fairies are tender, sensitive beings beyond the ken of humans, and the boy was deeply taken by her gentle, elegiac voice. But fairies being tender and sensitive, beyond human ken, through his eyes she saw his naked yearning, and the promise that was about to leave his lips. And suddenly, the fairy was afraid. Mortal lives are strong but fleeting, and the boy must grow, and grow old. Once youth and innocence had faded, how would he treat his elemental descendants? In the twilight of his life, would he blame himself for throwing his life away for a childish promise? The spring fairy was pure and kind, but she did not understand human love. She had never seen the miracle of humanity, and had merely sat idle through millennia of change, and so she greatly feared parting. What humans see as the miracle of devotion, elemental fairies can only perceive as fleeting pleasure. Even the power of fairies cannot reverse the aging of a loved one. The tender fairy could not bear to see that unavoidable day come, and with a kiss she stopped the boy from uttering the words. But the boy, in his innocence, mistook her rejection as her approval of his promise. From that moment, the fairy vowed that she would someday bear to leave him, and the boy vowed that he would remain by her spring forever. Oh shit. Oh, what's this? Spring vow that recounts a bitter ending finally faced by a boy who was no longer young and Spring Fairy had not grown old. Okay, so this one's different. By and by, the young boy grew up, made new friends, and had new experiences. And the spring fairy, as she had in his youth, sang him her quiet elegies, each one. Till the day came at last when she left and gazed no more upon the boy. Never again did words flow forth from the trickling sound of the spring. Never again would the fractured moon become whole. The spring fairy suddenly realized that though she had found a place to belong, and though she had experienced fleeting happiness, she was still alone. The boy now no longer a boy, could not perceive her flight, and blamed himself for his own solitude. Perhaps she was merely a childish fantasy. He would think this to himself as he listened to the gurgling of the spring. But that cool kiss was real, as was the wind that once played with her hair. Suddenly he realized that though he had met and parted with countless new friends, and though he had adventured and returned more times than he could remember, he was still alone in the end. So as they had done many years ago, the boy's tears fell into the pure pond, soaking into the fractured moon. But this time, the spring fairy did not come as promised. Stubbornly, she turned her back, willing to be the object of an innocent childhood dream, to be a fleeting guest wandering from a foreign land, but unwilling to allow her near eternal life to break her lover's promise. Legend has it that whenever the rain pours down, the raindrops that fall into the pond mix with the tears of the spring fairy. To his dying day, the boy believed wholeheartedly in the groundless superstition. But sadly, the spring fairy who fled from her true feelings could never believe it herself. Shit. If I give it some time, I might be able to do another one. My throat. Maybe we can talk. Want to talk? How about you, Rosario?
今何時かしら。
Good morning.
おはよう。君はいつも元気ね。
Maybe it's Aloy that needs to talk.
いや、やっぱりお前と一緒にいると、まあ新しいことにたくさん出会えるな。
She sounds a lot older than what she looks.
サイレンスがこの不思議なティーポットを見たらきっと驚くだろうな。
Don't know who that is.
もちろん構わない。また何か面白いことでもあったのか。この世界に来てからお前に関することをたくさん耳にした。例えばお前がモンド城のセピロス騎士たちに手を貸し巨竜を倒したこと、リーウェコーの仙人たちと一緒に海中の魔人を倒したこと。魔人、それに巨竜、どれもこれまでは想像もできなかったものばかりだ。しかしどんな危機に陥ろうとお前ならきっと立ち向かい仲間と共に戦うことができる。そうだろう。お前のような勇敢な者がいたからこそあの二つの都は危機から逃れることができたんだ。
Yeah, everyone helped. Not just me. It's not just me. But people like me. I suppose, yeah.
それがちょっとした手助けなら本気を出せば世界だって救えるってことだな。もし本当に世界を救う日が来たら私を呼んでくれ。私はすでに一度世界を救った。多少なりともそのコツを教えてやれる。
Well, like this strength in numbers?
多ければいいというわけでもない。本当に世界を救わなきゃならない日が来たら自分自身でやらなきゃいけないこともある。だけど正直世界を救うのはとても疲れるんだ。誰が本当に世界を破滅させようとしている人物なのか見分けのつかない時もある。それに世界を破滅させたいと思っているやつほど自分が正しいと思い込んでいる。そんな自信 どこから来るんだろうな。話が通じなかった時は戦うしかない。それ以外に方法はないと思う。
Yes. Okay. Moving on. I guess there's nothing here. Even Fischl doesn't need talking to. Let's explore Liga a bit. Where do I need progress? Zhongji Estuary? Sure. I want to just get through one more book. Just one more book. Have I done yet? I don't remember if I've done yet. Probably. Hey. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Damn it. I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Where'd they go? Oh, they went all the way down, didn't they? Oh no, there's one. The best one. Ah, two more stuff. Pretty good. Wait. Wasn't there another one? Must be delusional. Must be seeing things. Oh. No, actually, I don't want that. I want to use my Geo treasure. Alright, and boom. What? Oh, there's nothing around. Okay, what happens if I go over here and do it? And boom. Very good. Oh, what do you know? Here it is.
みんなも宝が手に入るといいな。
I think that's hiding some treasure in there. We'll see with the compass. Oh.
疑似用か。あてい。
みんなも宝が手に入るといいな。
And compass. Nothing. Very good. Where is it? Let's just make our way this way. You stay in there. Stay in there. there's the dude here. Yeah, it's that way. We'll remember that and we'll talk to Wens. Oh, you also an adventurer searching for an abandoned city? No. Abandoned city? Oh, you haven't heard? Somewhere beneath these ruins lies an ancient abandoned city. Rumors of such a place have circulated for many generations in the Adventurers Guild, but nobody has found it yet. What are you doing here? What's the history of this place? These ruins were once a city too, but it was probably abandoned long before even the Harkon War. They said that beneath those 2 trees are buried the bodies of the last king of the ancient city and his enemy. There was also his true love. They perished together, but their burial separates them for eternity. 2 trees that grew above the ruins once everything had turned to dust stand just like them, face to face but separated. Wait, what? Which trees? Which trees? There's so many trees. Those trees? I don't know. These trees? You seem to know a great deal. Honestly, it's not much. I've loved history since I was little. I always wanted to see these ruins in person. That's why I became an adventurer. Well, these are some records I've made of my adventures. You can have them. Nothing would make me happier than to help someone else with my knowledge. Some adventuring experience. Okay, it said the treasure was here somewhere. Oh, I see. Now I can do it like this. Acid.
はあ雨描きがたしいざ勝負実に幸運な一日だ。
It's as easy as that. Gotta lift it up.
動くべきだ。この件はわかるかい？
Damn shield. No bit. That's not how you do it. This is how you do it.
想定の術
雨描きがたし
Hiya.
疑似用か
土に埋めたら宝箱がたくさん入るかも。
Here you are.
実に幸運な一日だ。
Oh, but of course.
酒
実に幸運な一日だ。
Hey, wait a minute. Be an archer.
断罪の名においては我が祝福の名を呼ぶがいい。
Okay, and then boom. Ah, looks like a trap. It's a trap. Who would have
疑
thunk
似
it?
用か
いざ勝負。実に幸運な一日だ。
I'm not gonna fight that guy. I could, but I'm not gonna. Wait, where was it? Ah. What? Oh,
酒
you bastards.
おいったどれどれ何が
この件はわかるかい？
I don't know, probably missed it somewhere. Where was it again? Oh, up there. Well, that's quite a way up. Good thing I have this. Yeah, I think it's meant it was down here somewhere. Aha!
土に埋めたら宝箱がたくさん。
雨描きがたし。
行くぞ
Of course.
創世の術
Another trap. Take one of these in your face.
実に幸運な一日だ。
Chip crab. Yeah, so it was over here somewhere. Oh. Three? 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 Oh, since they're flying, let's better get these guys. Deploy. Destroy!
無駄な努力をやめたら、その命いただいたわ。燃えよ、ほれよっ、そこだ、トン、さあ行くぞ、ほれ、この
Thing wasn't ready.
取るに足らないわ。諦めなさい。や
元気出してよ。
そこだ、トン、あ、ははよっ、さあトン、急ごう、くらえ、燃えよ、そこだ、はあ、くらえよっ、さあ、はあ、そこだ。
Simple! Right.
うん、実に幸運な一日だ。
Nice. Alright, where else? Nowhere, okay. I think it's time to get back to reading. Serenity Airport. Okay, one more series. Complete series. Tales from the Waves. Ah, $3. The legendary tale of an anonymous seafarer set in a time when Leo was plagued by sea monsters. Is this like a tale for Beto or something? Rising tide. As the moon hung bright among the sea of stars above, hums of a sea shanty slowly began to rise of the water's below. Below. There once was a mighty ship that would lay anchor in the harbor. Its captain was a man who tracked and hunted terrible monsters of the deep known as the Skipper. Well, he was known as the Skipper? Or was the ship known as the Skipper? The ship's hull was adorned with skeletons of monsters from the sea, an unmistakable signal of their skipper's fearless will. However, the shanties of the crew seldom made any mention of hunting creatures of the deep. It's not that the sailors didn't revel in their reputation and brag of their achievements, but ages of navigating the merciless seas had taught them that ballads of blood and water were the most unlucky of all. With his sword in hand, the skipper sailed across the watery expanse, coasting along rocky reefs and cruising with surging undercurrents. He fearlessly guided his ship to face the roar of squalls and sea monsters alike. The dark worlds that lay beneath murky waters were like boundless hunting grounds. Any monster that would dare stir the tranquil waters often became the next trophy hanging from the side of the ship. But the skipper only knew wind and waves, and never seemed to grasp the bittersweet lives of ordinary people, for he occupied all his days with searching and hunting, accompanied solely by the salty sea breeze and the muffled calls of whales in the deep. The crew feared him more than they adored him, ever cautious of his character and relentless as if trying to break free from tangles of seaweed. The skipper's clipper silently sailed forward, unyielding to the perilous stretches of sea. Only the young maiden who always sat atop the towering bow could ever reveal a glimmer of softness to the skipper's eyes. She was his navigator, charmed by the tidal song and humming with the whales, guiding the ship through the wind and waves to waters infested by beasts. The young maiden at the helm offered her songs to the sea, paying due respect to its every billow and breeze. Hark the calls of creatures deep and echoes of waves tossed in a gale. When the sea and winds blow in our favor towards the horizon shall we sail. May the deities that have passed, and me old captain too, steer our bow through the boundless sea and point our compass true. May we guide every sailor's soul to the port they call home. The chorus of the shanty gave way to the bellowing orders of the skipper, promptly calling all hands to set sail. The mighty vessel slowly left the port and came under way, sinking into the horizon under the first glimmer of dawn. This is how the story of every voyage would begin, just as they had each day before. To the never-ending tune of the ocean, the seafarer fought against the phenomenal foe fate, fighting to the bitter end. Bitter end, eh? Wild storm, come with me into the watery abyss, listening to murmurs of the deep. When the wind and waves are right, we sail towards maelstroms of the sea. I hear the jabber of me old lady wishing well to her heirs to come. May they navigate blasting winds and o'er dancing waves, pierced by heroes' harpoons. May the monster's lair meet the last of its days. Even in the most violent of squalls, her constant shanties never ceased. The voice of the maiden harmonized with the raging waves, guiding the skipper over deathly currents, sailing boldly towards the eye of the storm where the sea monster lay lurking. Skimming across the vortex, ushered by lightning and waterspouts, the ship inched further into the monster's treacherous waters. Flashes of lightning revealed the skipper's silhouette, fearlessly grasping his sword. Following the skipper's fixed gaze, the crew could only make out an alpine shape shadowed by tenebrous clouds. The massive figure that lay skulking in the distance with the body of the beast. The once fearsome skeletons that hung from the ship now seemed like mere cubs compared to the terrifying silhouette that lay sprawling before them, like a mountain range in the center of the maelstrom. At the skipper's bellowing command, the crew fired broadside after broadside of giant crossbows, unleashing their mortal fears and delusions on the massive body that lay like a towering wall before them. The barrages of cannonballs and barbed iron harpoons left gruesome wounds in the body of the beast. The sea monster hissed violently in pain, plunging beneath the huge crimson waves before slamming the ship's hull with all its might. The ship nearly capsized against the might of the blow, and crimson waves came crashing across the decks. The sailors were drenched in the foul torrents as they cursed the gods of the elements and continued to rake the body of the beast with stones and sharpened spears. The ruthless skipper never flinched at the opponents dealt to him by fate. The thundering roars of the terrible beasts were answered by songs of the young maiden atop the bow. The ship maneuvered round the monster, cruising upon the spinning torrents and answering sharp fangs with swiping stingers. With catapults, harpoons, slings, and even mortal bodies to vent their dread and fury. Once the monster's body was riddled with wounds and nearly all its tentacles and claws had been severed, the skipper's ship too had been reduced to a floating hulk. Half of the ship's masts had fallen, half of its guns were out of action, and half the crew had been taken as dinner for the monster. Even the skipper's prized sword had been cleaved in two. This was an unwinnable bout. Much like a mere child challenging a full-grown adult, the injured monster knew very well that its opponent no longer posed any threat. Craving to devour the ship that now lay dead in the water, it rose to the surface and exposed its gaping mouth. Finally, when the tempest sea eased and the ocean surface was tranquil once more, the soft wind played a poignant homecoming tune. Receding torrent. Although the moon was veiled by dark clouds, her shanty did not cease. As the surface grew eerily calmer amidst the storm, the splintered ship drifted slowly towards the abyss. The monster's massive spiraling mouth lay open wide and a rumbling growl came from deep within it. The monster was content with its prey and opened its eyelids, trusted in reef and coral, to witness the final moments of yet another opponent who had underestimated it. The monster's massive eyes revealed their fragile gaze to the dying skipper. The monster reveled in the moment, and through his pair of eyes beheld a heart that was darker than the abyss. The final bolt of lightning flashed in the sky above, illuminating the ship as it split into two among the monster's swirling fangs, fading beneath the mist of splinters. Even the screams from the keel were drowned beneath the waves, and then it was dark again, until the furious roar of the monster broke out over the black waters once more. The skipper plunged his severed sword into the eye of the beast again and again, till he was immersed beneath the filthy tide. And finally his broken sword became lodged in the monster's soft eyeball, as the skipper drew closer to his treacherous fate. Clutched by countless claws and pincers, he continued fighting tooth and nail until the monster's sharp claws were torn into pieces. A familiar tune then filled the salty breeze as the monster's movement began to cease. Sing with me, farewell to the sea, a shanty I hold so dear. When the sea and winds blow in our favor, I know my end is near. Oh, Captain is calling me name, back to whence I came. So forget not the captain and I, and hum this melody again. There will come a day when at last you find me slumbering in the abyssal deep. Or perhaps you too then will be swallowed by the whirlpool in the sea. The monster's gigantic tentacles burst forth from the water, snaking upwards like towering columns. But the young maiden simply lay there floating on her back, singing amidst the turmoil, even as the tentacles coiled tightly around her arms, even as the sharp claws pierced her skin, and even as they shredded her clothing to pieces, leaving her floating in tatters on the sea. And still she continued to sing her farewell shanty toward the skipper. Then the maiden was gently pulled into the black sea by the monster. In an age where the sea was ruled by unpredictable disasters, the people of the waves died each passing day. The skipper awoke to find himself on the deck of some unknown merchant ship, having lost his ship and entire crew, All he had left was a body covered in wounds and an old dream echoing an ethereal sea shanty. When the sea and winds are right, I will go forth to sea and avenge her, old maiden charmed by the tidal song. What the hell's with her? She kept singing. Well, anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I can't do it anymore. My throat. Ugh. Yep, rehearsal time. Hunting time, yeah.
この同点も同点について
Well, that's gonna have to do it, you guys. I am all out. All out of juice. Completely out of juice. If I place the next set, I should be at 20k. That'll be good. That'll be good. Get more money. Get more realm currency. Very nice. One shot expedition reward. Oh yeah, I haven't done my commissions. Huh. Completely forgot about that. We'll do that first then. Before we call it. Oh, not these bastards. No. No.
疑似用か
おいよっ行くよっおい
Okay, it's dead. Come after this guy.
創世の術
Even more? Are you shitting me?
サイウルコこの件はわかるかい風よ私に答えるのだ
おいさおい
Man, no one likes specters. Anyway, moving on. Well, what's this one? Oh. Dangerous hole. Sabotage the slime balloon. Sure. Why not? Why not?
冥王牽制
はいさあおいおさあおよっ
疑似用か
いざ
Okay, this one should be dispersed the electro clouds. Because it's always here. Thunderfluke. Is always here. Never changing. Without a doubt. Always here.
創世の術
I don't think the water's deep enough.
雨描きがたし
Oh, it doesn't give you anything? Useless. Potato. Wheat. Alright, this should be pretty simple. I'll just do this real quick. Because I need some healing.
お主でこの刀を試そう。その手は食わぬ小賢しい。
I don't think they can block it, but you know. Hopefully they don't block when it happens. Very nice. Okay, daily commission done. Alright, that should be everything.
この件はわかるかい
星と深淵を無事今日の依頼星と深淵
I don't know if I should keep collecting money, but money's useful. You can never have enough. I remember the time when I actually ran out. It was a weird time. Now 4.5 mil. But yeah. Catch you guys in the next one. It's gonna be Friday Night Gaming. If you stick around, so you know, stick around. Yeah. Who knows what I'll be doing? But I will be here. So, Peach, I guess. Yeah, I guess Peach.